Rheumatoid arthritis is a disease in which there is pain and swelling in multiple joints of the body. It is a very common inflammatory joint disease with an incidence of approximately 0.5% of the population worldwide, and it is said that about 5 to 50 persons per year gets new diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis for every 1 lakh people. So it's a commonly occurring disease, and new cases have been detected worldwide. Now we don't know what is the exact cause of rheumatoid arthritis, but it is postulated that the rheumatoid arthritis is caused due to numerous genetic and environmental factors. We all know that rheumatoid arthritis is more common in females than males, and usually this ratio is about 3:1. So we get 3 female patients as to 1 male patient. The word rheumatoid comes from a Greek word which said that these are watery and inflamed joints. And as I told you, genetics plays a very important role, and if you have a family history of rheumatoid arthritis, you stand at a 3 to 5 times higher risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis as compared to a normal individual. As we have seen, the chances are more in family relatives, and this is probably due to the genetic gene which is called as an HLA-DR4 gene. There is one very interesting association. It is said that the chances of rheumatoid arthritis is increased in those patients who smoke or who takes tobacco in any form. So if you smoke tobacco or you take tobacco in any form, there is a high risk of rheumatoid arthritis. This disease is more commonly seen in middle-aged persons, and as we have seen that it is more common in females, so there is always a very doubt in the mind whereas to bear pregnancy or not. So this is a very common fear in the mind of patients. So technically patients can be allowed to bear pregnancy, but there are some precautions that needs to be taken, and we'll come to it at the later part of the video. Now we'll come to the problems which are seen in a rheumatoid arthritis patient. So if you are suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, the most common presentation is multiple joint pain and multiple joint swelling. This is more commonly seen in hand joints. You can have painful swollen joints of your finger, thumb and wrist. This can also be seen in foot joints. The joints of neck may be involved. You may have pain and swelling in the knee joint, elbow joint, ankle joint or the elbow joint as well, and occasionally hip joint. Usually the dorsal and lumbar spine are not involved in rheumatoid arthritis. Approximately 15 to 25% of the patients may have problems apart from joints also, and these are called as extrasynovial manifestation. And these are, you can have problems of the skin which is called as rheumatoid nodules. These are hard tendon nodules seen in the subcutaneous region. You can have vasculitis. You can have fibrosis in the lung. And one very common thing that we have seen is high incidence of atherosclerosis and vessel disease in the rheumatoid arthritis, and there is a high chance of developing heart attacks and heart diseases. And this is probably the reason why the lifespan of a patient with rheumatoid arthritis is significantly less as compared to a normal counterpart. The lifespan of a rheumatoid arthritis patient may be 3 to 12 years less than a normal counterpart, and this is usually attributed to the heart problems arising out of the rheumatoid arthritis. There are some other conditions which also may be seen. You can have kidney problems because of amyloidosis. You can see problems pertaining to liver. You can see problem pertaining to spleen. You can have problems pertaining to enlargement of these, which is called as a Felty syndrome. You can have neuropathies. You can have peripheral nerve diseases. You can have increased incidence of cancers like lymphoma. This is not very common, but it can be seen. A very important thing that you must all remember are the constitutional symptoms. So if you are having symptoms of weakness, fatigue and fever, these can be symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. One very important thing that you must all know, that this disease, the rheumatoid arthritis disease, usually improves in pregnancy. So this is a very common finding that we see, that if the patient is having pregnancy, a patient who has a rheumatoid arthritis, she gets pregnant, the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis may improve, but the symptoms will worsen after delivery and during the lactation phase. The chances of any infection are increased in rheumatoid arthritis because the immunity of the body goes down, both because of the disease and also because of the treatment that has been taken because of the disease. And that is why we recommend vaccination in patients who are having rheumatoid arthritis. We recommend that patients who are having rheumatoid arthritis take influenza vaccine on a yearly interval. They also take pneumococcal vaccine. If the patient is younger than 65 years, 2 doses of pneumococcal vaccine are recommended. If the patient is more than 65 years of age, 1 dose of pneumococcal vaccine is recommended. Also, we encourage patient to take herpes zoster vaccination as well. One very important thing you must all remember, that rheumatoid arthritis can cause weakness due to anemia, that is your blood count and your iron level in the body decreases, and this is called as the anemia of chronic disease. Now many patients ask us, how do you identify, how do you diagnose if the patient is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis? So as far as the tests are concerned, we are doing 2 major tests. The first and the foremost test that we do in all the patients are blood investigation, and the blood investigation we recommend in all the patients are a complete blood count, which will give us an idea of the blood count in the particular patient, that can be increased or decreased, and that will also give us a prognostic picture. We get an ESR and CRP of the patient done. Both of these are inflammatory parameters, and usually they are elevated in all kind of inflammatory diseases, including rheumatoid arthritis, and both of these are also prognostic markers. So if the disease is improving with medications and your treatment, the values of ESR and CRP will reduce over the period of time. The specific investigations which are done for rheumatoid arthritis are rheumatoid factor and anti-CCP. Now rheumatoid factor is a common test, is a cheap test, commonly available test, but the problem of this test this test is positive in about 10% of normal individuals. So this test has got low specificity. It can be seen in various other disorders apart from rheumatoid arthritis. That can be other inflammatory disorder, hepatitis, liver diseases, hepatitis C, B, other inflammatory disorders like Sjogren's syndrome, like SLE, vasculitis, and numerous other conditions. This test can also be not seen in about 15 to 20% of patients who are suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. So this test is about, I will say, 80 to 85% sensitive for rheumatoid arthritis. The more specific test that is available nowadays, which is a little bit costlier also, is an anti-CCP test, and this test is around 95% specific. So if the patient has got an anti-CCP test that is positive, that is a very specific test which is there. This test is about 95% specific and around 60 to 75% sensitive. So this test can still be negative in 30 to 35% of patients who are suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. Those patients in which the rheumatoid factor and anti-CCP are negative are called as seronegative rheumatoid arthritis. That is, those patients who have symptoms and findings of rheumatoid arthritis, but their serological test of RF, rheumatoid factor and anti-CCP are negative. The second test that we do in most of our patients is X-ray of the bilateral hand. As we all know that hand joints are the most commonly involved joint in patients of rheumatoid arthritis. These patients will have early involvement of hand joints, and hand joints involvement, the articular erosion, is a sign of severity of disease as well. There are some specific investigations like ultrasound and MRI which can be done in particular involvement of particular joint or particular area. So if you have tenosynovitis, you can do a local ultrasound. If you have specific one knee joint swelling, you can get a knee MRI and things like that. So these are specific investigations which we advise when we have to diagnose or treat a particular area of interest. The other very important thing which we all remember is the disease, the rheumatoid arthritis disease is usually a symmetrical disease. That means that the disease is usually bilaterally symmetrical. So both of the wrist joints are involved, both of the finger joints are involved, both of the knees are involved like that. So if the patient is suffering from a symmetrical joint involvement, it is more likely to be a rheumatoid arthritis. But there is a catch to that. In early phases, the disease can be asymmetrical. That means that the patient may start involvement with one wrist joint, and let's say about 3 weeks or 4 weeks down the line, both the wrist may be involved. So in the starting phase of the disease may be asymmetrical to begin with. Now we come to the most important aspect of the treatment. So the treatment is multifactorial. You need to take care of a lot of conditions before starting the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. The first and the foremost that I want to emphasize is activity. The disease of rheumatoid arthritis is worsened with rest and it is improved with activity. And this is the reason why patients who are having rheumatoid arthritis develop a finding which is called as morning stiffness, and these patients will have stiffness and swelling in the joint which lasts for more than 30 minutes when you wake up in the morning, and this is called as morning stiffness, and this is a very important diagnostic criteria as well. So activity and living an active lifestyle is very important in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. You should lead an active lifestyle. All kind of yoga, pranayam, exercises, aerobic exercises are very good in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. You should also do a deep breathing exercises. Active sports participation is very good. Now coming to the medical treatment. The medical treatment is usually constituted of 3 to 4 main types of drug. The basic medication which can be given to relieve pain and swelling are NSAIDs, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These drugs like diclofenac, aceclofenac, ketorcoxib can be given, but these drugs will not affect the disease itself. They will just improve the pain and the swelling in the joints. The second drugs which are very important and which are very effective also are steroids. These are wonder drugs. They are very effective. They can be prescribed for the short duration of time, but there is a caution to their prescription in long term, because if they are given in long term, you can have side effects because of use of steroids. So these medications, steroid tablets like prednisolone and deflazacort, should be given under medical supervision only, under guided doses. So this is very, very important. Steroids should also always be given under supervision of a qualified medical practitioners only. Here I would like to emphasize very important thing, that many times I have seen some doctors, or I'll say quacks, prescribing some pudiyas for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and these pudiya contained steroids. These are powders which contain steroids, and we don't know what quantity of steroids is given to a particular patient. So these can be very, very harmful. We have seen a lot of patients suffering a lot of side effect because of these pudiya medications. So I will advise you against use of these drugs. So any drug which is the composition of which is not written should not be taken. This is a message that you should take from this talk. Now I would come to the most important part of the treatment, that is the drugs which can actually treat rheumatoid arthritis, and these kind of drugs are called as DMARDs. This is called as a disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs, and these drugs are very effective drugs, and they can actually treat and reduce the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. The most important available drug which is very rampantly available and also very economical is methotrexate. It is a very cheap and very effective drug, but many patients I have seen, they are worried about using methotrexate because when you search on the internet, it has been mentioned as an anti-cancer drug. So this is an anti-cancer drug, but it is a very effective drug for rheumatoid arthritis. It should be given under recommended dosage, under a supervision of a qualified medical practitioner, and this can be very effective in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. And I will say that this is a first line treatment or first line drug which we give for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. But there are some specific circumstances, like those patients who have liver diseases or kidney diseases should not be given methotrexate. Also, if you are using alcohol, if you are drinking alcohol in any form, you should avoid taking methotrexate. The second drug that we use is sulfasalazine, and this is also a very good DMARD. It is less effective than methotrexate, but it has got less side effect also, so we can use it in more number of cases. Some patient may develop some gastric disturbances because of this drug, but this is a drug which can be used either in a monotherapy or in combination therapy with methotrexate as well. The third drug which we commonly use is an HCQS. This is hydroxychloroquine. This is a very common drug. It is a mild drug with less effect but very less side effects also. This drug is not very effective. It is given in dose of about 200 to 400 mg per day. But this drug, whenever given, all patients should have a regular eye examination, and that is mandatory because these patients who are taking hydroxychloroquine can have some side effects which are pertaining to vision. So an eye checkup on a yearly basis is mandatory if you are taking hydroxychloroquine. Another drug which can be given is leflunomide. It is also a very strong DMARD, but this drug can have very significant side effect. So no self therapy. It has to be given always and always under supervision of a medical practitioner only. Now I will come to the most recent advancement in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and these are biological therapies. These are very, very effective drugs, very strong medications, very effective, and they work like magic. If you give biologicals, the treatment is very fast, the symptoms will improve at a very fast pace. But these drugs may have some side effects, and these drugs will also reduce the immunity of the body because they are very strong immunomodulator or immunosuppressant. So therapy is the recent most advancement in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. These are very active, very effective drugs. They work like magic, but these drugs have two major problems. One, they have significant adverse effects, so these have to be given under supervision of qualified rheumatologist only. And number two, these drugs reduce the immunity of the body, so these drugs may cause your body more susceptible to infections. So these are the two things you must always consider before starting a biological treatments. Occasionally number of tests may be required, specifically tests for tuberculosis like the Montu test is usually mandatory in India before starting a medication for rheumatoid arthritis. There are several kinds of biological treatments which are available. The most common of those are those which are working against TNF alpha, that is the tumor necrosis factor alpha, and these are etanercept, infliximab and abatacept. These are drugs which acts against TNF alpha. These are TNF alpha inhibitors and they work very nicely for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. There are some biological agents which works against the B cells, which are rituximab, and there are some biological agents which work against interleukin 1, and this is called as anakinra. So there are a lot of newer therapies which are coming up. There is a new therapy which is called as a tositinibab. This is a oral tablet. This is also a biological 5 milligram twice a day dose, very effective for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. This is again a newer additions for rheumatoid arthritis treatments. I would like to emphasize here that any kind of herbal therapy or Ayurvedic therapy has not been proven to have a good improvement in cases of established confirmed rheumatoid arthritis, and I will in this video advise you not to fall under trap of herbal or alternative medications for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, because they are not very effective and they may cause side effects also. There is a strong feeling in minds of people that these herbal medications does not have side effect, but I have seen patients taking herbal medications which have side effects of herbal medications as well. So this is a very important thing, that any herbal or Ayurvedic medication is not proven to be effective for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and you should not depend on these medications for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. This is also so because the treatment that I have just told you, the DMRs are very effective and very successful modalities for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and they are very effective drugs. So the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis is very successful and very effective, and this is very commonly available, and so you should avail the treatment of modern medication. This is very successful and very safe, and it will give you two other benefits also. This will also improve the longevity of a particular patient, and this will also reduce the treatment of any surgical intervention. Many patients which have a particular joint involvement which is not improved with medical management, we also do a different type of surgical intervention in those patients. These surgical intervention will range from an arthroscopic minimal invasive treatment to joint replacement surgeries. So those patients in which the medical management is not very much effective, we are blessed to have a lot of surgical treatments also available which are very, very effective in these cases. So friends, this is a very common topic, very interesting topic. I hope there must be a lot of questions, and we encourage questions. If you have any questions pertaining to the substance of this talk, you are most welcome to write us on the comment box. If you want to take a personalized online consultation, we have a facility available for that, and we have a number given. You can take appointment of an online consultation from that number. Thanks a lot.